BRICS just sent shockwaves through global finance, shaking the dollar's dominance. And Africa, it stands at the edge of a historic shift, either rise as a true economic powerhouse or be left behind. The world is moving fast, and the continent must choose its next move wisely. How BRICS expanded and challenged dollar dominance. The BRICS alliance began with 5 major economies, but its vision grew fast. As more nations saw the need for fairer global finance, BRICS opened its doors to new members, including countries rich in energy, minerals, and large markets. This expansion increased its economic weight, giving it stronger influence in global trade talks. The group developed new financial tools like the New Development Bank, which supports countries without forcing strict Western loan rules. By trading more in local currencies, BRICS reduced dependence on the US dollar, making global markets more balanced. This shift challenges long-standing financial systems, where the dollar had most power. Now, more countries believe a multipolar economy can benefit everyone, not just a few powerful. Nations BRICS isn't trying to create chaos, it is trying to build economic fairness and stronger global cooperation. Africa's rising role in BRICS and global trade. Africa holds rich natural resources, a growing young population, and massive untapped markets, giving it strong bargaining power. Countries like South Africa and newly invited African nations strengthen BRICS by bringing mineral wealth, energy potential, and strategic trade routes. Africa also sits at the center of future supply chains, especially for minerals like cobalt, lithium, and rare metals needed for batteries. And technology. As BRICS grows, Africa gains a platform to negotiate from strength, not weakness. The continent can form joint projects, share technologies, and increase direct trade with Asia, the Middle East, and South America. This shift reduces reliance on Western financial systems and loan conditions. With coordinated policies and regional cooperation, Africa can move from exporting raw goods to building industries, manufacturing, and infrastructure that serve its people and boost long-term growth. The move toward a BRICS currency and gold-backed trade. BRICS nations are exploring a shared currency system designed to support smoother, fair trade. Instead of relying on the dollar, they plan to use local currencies and potentially introduce a gold-linked trade. Gold and other hard assets give currency value, making it stronger during global financial shocks. This model helps countries with weaker currencies trade at fair prices without losing value to exchange. Rate swings. A gold-supported system also builds confidence for international partners. While this currency is not fully launched, each step, such as linking payment systems and banks, brings the idea closer. The long-term aim is financial independence, not conflict with the dollar. For Africa, participation means securing better trade terms, attracting investment, and using its own gold reserves, and mineral wealth to support regional finance and long-term stability. Why de-dollarization matters for Africa's future. Using the US dollar for most trade made many African economies vulnerable to exchange rate shocks and foreign interest rate decisions. When the dollar strengthens, imports such as fuel, medicine, and machinery become costly, hurting local businesses and public budgets. De-dollarization gives African countries more control over pricing, trade, and savings. Working with BRICS means using local or shared payment systems, which can free nations from currency, pressure, and debt traps. It also encourages African banks and governments to develop digital finance, local currency reserves, and better monetary policies. This change supports economic sovereignty, letting nations build wealth on their own terms. The goal is not to remove the dollar completely, but to create balance, so African countries have more freedom, stability, and power in global markets. Opportunities for African nations in BRICS trade routes. BRICS gives Africa access to rapidly growing trade corridors linking Asia, the Middle East, South America, and Europe. These routes support investment in ports, railways, energy networks, and manufacturing hubs across the continent. African nations can export more than raw resources by building value-added industries such as battery production, agriculture processing, and renewable energy equipment. BRICS countries also offer technology partnerships, student exchanges, and industrial training programs, helping Africa develop skilled workforces and engineers. With smart planning, Africa can become a global supply chain center, not just a resource provider. The key is cooperation between African governments and private sectors to protect local interests, standardize trade rules, and promote intra-African trade. Strong participation in BRICS trade routes can turn Africa into a major economic engine in the new global system. The importance of strengthening African regional currencies. Strong regional currencies can reduce Africa's dependence on foreign money and allow smoother trade within the continent. When African nations trade in local currency blocks, they avoid price shocks caused by global currency swings. The West African ECO, East African Shilling, and similar projects show how shared currency systems can support unity and fairer trade. With regional financial institutions and clear monetary rules, Africa can protect savings, support stable banking systems, and build trust across. Strengthening currency cooperation also encourages local production because businesses won't worry about sudden exchange rate changes. Over time, regional money systems can connect into Pan-African digital payment networks, making trade faster and safer. A strong currency foundation gives Africa the power to grow on its own terms and invest in industries that support long-term economic strength. How Africa can build commodity-backed financial power. Africa holds massive stores of gold, oil, copper, cobalt, natural gas, and rare minerals that fuel global industries. Instead of exporting raw materials cheaply, nations can use these resources as financial strength. Commodity-backed reserves allow Africa to support future regional currencies, negotiate better trade deals, and stabilize local economies during global crises. Building strategic mineral banks, national gold storage, and sovereign wealth funds helps turn natural wealth into financial security. Countries like Botswana and Rwanda already show how smart resource policies create stability. Africa must also invest in refining mining technology and local manufacturing to capture value before raw materials leave the continent. When resources support banks and investment programs, Africa can create a powerful economic base that benefits citizens rather than letting foreign markets control prices and profits. Risks and challenges. Africa's growth path brings opportunities and risks. High debt levels make many nations vulnerable to rising interest rates and global pressure. Political instability in some regions can scare away investment and slow development. For strong progress, countries need peace, transparent governance, and reliable institutions. Another challenge is continental unity. Competing interests between nations can weaken Africa's voice in trade talks. To succeed with BRICS and regional growth, leaders must coordinate policies, protect national interests, and avoid overdependence on any single partner. There is also the challenge of building skilled workforces and protecting local businesses from foreign domination. With the right planning, Africa can manage these risks, but it requires commitment to fair trade, strong laws, and shared economic goals. Balance, cooperation, and long-term vision will shape the continent's success. What African leaders and entrepreneurs must do next. Africa's next phase needs bold leadership and active entrepreneurship. Governments should invest in education, local industry, and regional trade systems instead of relying mainly on raw exports. Policies must support startups, technology hubs, and manufacturing zones to boost innovation. Leaders should negotiate trade deals that protect African interests and encourage value-added production. Entrepreneurs must think globally while building locally, partnering with BRICS markets for technology, knowledge, and funding. Africa's rich youth talent can drive renewable energy, agriculture technology, digital finance, and advanced manufacturing. To move forward, both public and private sectors must strengthen institutions, fight corruption, and build trust-based economies. With unity, strategy, and long-term planning, Africa can take control of its economic destiny and become a powerful player in the New World Order. Africa's next chapter is being written right now. New alliances, new currencies, new power centers. The question isn't whether change is coming, it's whether the continent leads it or follows behind. If you believe Africa should shape its own future, hit like, subscribe, and share this video. The conversation starts with you.